Hi, my name is Stuart. I do videos on motorcycles, travel, basically whatever me and my wife get up to. This one is in relation to a flight we had to America through Virgin. We booked the flights direct with Virgin and we paid Virgin. To cut a long story short, it was from Heathrow to Milwaukee, and going out they did a layover at Boston. The first two flights they subcontracted to Delta, and the flight from Boston to Milwaukee was a complete disaster. Basically, I've lodged formal complaints with Delta at the gate at the time, and several times since. We've had emails going backs and forwards. We had basically had 7 delayed flights over 2 days, and we had 2 flight cancellations whilst at the gate, so that was under their required 14 hours. So I've basically had emails going backs and forwards. I have to put my glasses on, so there might be a bit of a glare. I first did the official written complaint to Virgin on the 20th of October. So, I mean, they first replied quite quickly on the 23rd, and immediately they said, sorry, there's nothing we can do about it. The flight was with Delta. Now, in my mind, I paid Virgin and I booked with Virgin. They subcontracted to Delta. So in any other industry, no matter what it is, the responsibility is the person you do the booking with and you pay. But apparently in this case, they're trying to direct me to deal with Delta. So I obviously sent emails saying I wasn't happy with this. I then tried to contact Delta as well. I had a reply off them same day, 23rd of August. Clearly they hadn't read the complaint. They just issued a goodwill gesture of $250 via electronic travel voucher for each passenger. On the first day, when we were supposed to fly out, the original flight time was 10 to 8 in the evening. It was then cancelled 3 times. The crazy situation is, at the gate, you had the flight arrived an hour late. You then had a situation of both captains, the inbound captain and the outbound captain, standing by the gate in full view of everybody, discussing the fact that the plane was losing cabin pressure. So despite all that, they did a quick test, then started to board us, which halfway through boarding they then decided, no, we'll get everybody off again. So then we then sat at that gate a further 2 hours and a further 2 delays, and then eventually 11 o'clock they cancelled the flight, 11 o'clock at night. But they said they'd put on an extra flight for us at another gate, which happened to be about half a mile away. It couldn't have been further away, one end of Boston Airport to the other. So you had 300 passengers tearing it across the terminal to get to the new gate. Probably 100 yards before we got to the new gate, certain passengers started checking their phones. They were getting text messages. We then got to the gate. There was no Delta staff on the gate whatsoever. And then text messages were reading, basically, get yourself a hotel, flight's been cancelled. So they gave a gate number 46, I think it was, for customer services, which we tried to go to because we didn't actually get a text that the flight had been cancelled. We just got hotel information, so we were a little bit confused. So we wanted to talk to somebody. We were tired, hadn't had any food, hadn't been offered any drink. Got to the customer services and there was a queue of about 140 people and it wasn't moving. So in the end we took the chance, went to the hotel, well, we went down to transport, had to wait 40 minutes once we found transport for a bus to come. We had to then share another hotel's bus because the hotel we were staying at only had a minibus and couldn't fit everybody on. Got to the hotel to check in, big queue, nothing open, couldn't get anything to eat or drink. Got in the room, it just stank of damp. It was terrible. We had 3 hours sleep and then we had to get back to the airport for the rearranged flight. Again, we didn't get an email or a text, about the next flight, about the rearranged flight. Other passengers did. Delta contacted them, they didn't contact us. So during all this, the cancellations, we had text messages from Virgin, never received them from Delta. So we went on the whim of, well, we'll follow everybody else and try and get on this flight. We were in the lift going down to passport control, and there was other passengers in the lift that were on the same flight, which we knew, and they got text messages that the new flight then had been delayed. So we got through security, got to the gate, and that had 2 more delays, and we took off 2 hours late. No apologies from Delta, anything. We then land at Milwaukee and had to sit on tarmac for 35 minutes because the captain put over the tannoy system. They weren't expecting us, no ground crew to park us, which I've been told is quite normal but quite worrying. If they weren't expecting us, God knows what would have happened if something had happened in the air. Anyway, so that's a basic view on what had happened. Since then, I've just had email going backwards and forwards. So, as I said, they've offered me $250. Delta have offered me $250 per passenger in electronic travel voucher. That I can only use with Delta. I can't use with Virgin. Now, bearing in mind, I booked through Virgin and paid Virgin. So this has been going backwards and forwards ever since then. Emails, I've been saying that, Virgin, you should sort this out. I'm your customer, I'm not Delta's customer. And they just keep falling back on that same situation. So then I was told to ring the CAA, who are only open 2 days a week. So it took 2 days to get hold of them because I obviously rung on one of the wrong days. Ring up CAA, they don't deal with Virgin. So they tell me to ring ADR. I ring up the ADR and they tell me that it's an issue with Boston to Milwaukee, so technically it's an American flight and they don't deal with Delta. So then this left me in a bit of a quandary, to be honest. So yeah, I again went back to Virgin and again emphasised, you are the people we contracted to, and there is a denied boarding regulation on the way we should pay. So as I said, Delta had offered us a voucher. We've requested it paid into our bank. They denied that request, but under the denied boarding they have to give us back the money in the way it was paid. But then we've also found out, I rang up Citizens Advice and they've advised me, because we paid Virgin and contracted Virgin, they are the people that are responsible. So again, I emailed Virgin, and this time I then searched out the CEO email, so you get to the executive side of complaints. So I sent an email to them basically explaining the situation, and they've come back and saying that yeah, you've still got to deal with Delta. Citizens Advice has told me you are now responsible. I then searched and read all the small print on the emails Virgin sent us on the cancellations, and in their small print it confirms that the denied boarding regulations, they have to, if the flight hasn't landed within 4 hours of the scheduled landing time, they have to give compensation of 400% of that part of the journey. So now I'm in the process of writing back to Virgin and basically saying, according to your own terms and conditions, you have to return us $1,350 per passenger. And I also found in there that they have to, the refund has to be made via cash or check. So I've said to them, happy with a bank transfer. So that email's now been sent to them. It's 25th of November. So let's see what happens. Obviously this channel's quite new. I'm sort of trying to find my own vibe, build up subscribers, try and find new content, things that are interesting to you. But if you've had a similar experience, or you've got something you can, some advice you can offer me on this subject, in regards to the way the big airlines behave, I'll be very interested to find out. If you can leave me a comment on the video, then I can get back to you, and hopefully you'll have some good advice for me, or you may have had a similar experience and don't realise what the airlines are trying to get away with. Obviously this will have at least a part 2, hopefully it won't have a part 3. It'd also be a massive help if you could like and subscribe to this page. A lot of my content at the moment will be stories of what we've been doing over the last couple of years. At the moment I'm in recovery at home because I did suffer a stroke, well, a mild stroke, 6 days after returning from America. But yeah, it'd be good to get some more viewpoints on this, and hopefully as I go along the content will improve and the quality will improve. Flying abroad from Cornwall, what a nightmare.